All right, let's dive into this, shall we? Generative AI and how it's shaking things up for product managers. You've sent us a ton of stuff on this, articles, research, even a YouTube interview.
It's definitely a hot topic, and yeah, your sources paint a pretty interesting picture of how this tech is changing the game.
For sure. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, let's make sure we're on the same page. When we say generative AI, what are we actually talking about? For anyone tuning in who might be new to this.
Sure, so imagine a computer program that doesn't just analyze data, but creates something completely new from it. It's generative AI in a nutshell. Like, what if you could feed all your customer data, your market research, competitor info into an AI, and it spits out product ideas, designs, even marketing copy?
Okay, so it's like having an extra team member working at warp speed.
It's even more than that. One of the studies you sent from McKinsey threw out some crazy numbers. Generative AI could actually speed up software product launches by 5%.
Wow, 5% faster. That's huge in the tech world. But how does this impact like the day-to-day of a product manager?
Well, this McKinsey study also found that it can boost a PM's productivity by something like 40%.
Oh,
All those hours spent on, repetitive tasks, data crunching, reports, AI can take a lot of that off their plate.
that's a game changer. But do we have any real-world examples of companies actually using generative AI in product management?
Oh, absolutely. Your articles mentioned some really cool examples. Adidas and North Face, they're using it to personalize product design.
Oh, wow. So you're saying like you could get sneakers or a jacket designed just for you.
Exactly. Based on your body type, how active you are, even your style. It's hyper-personalization.
That's next level, and that's just one example.
Right. There's General Motors. They're using AI-powered generative design for car parts, making them lighter, more efficient.
So it's not just about aesthetics, but actual functionality and even sustainability.
Exactly. And get this, one of your sources even talks about in silico medicine, and they're using it to find potential drug formulas.
Wow, so we're talking about speeding up drug discovery? That's incredible. It sounds like this impacts every single step of building a product.
You got it. And one of your articles, How Generative AI is Revolutionizing Product Development, breaks it down really well.
So this article, How Generative AI is Revolutionizing Product Development, it breaks down how AI can be used at every stage.
Yeah, that's a really good framework.
So let's break it down. First stage, you've got discovery, right? Trying to figure out what to build in the first place.
Exactly. And that's where, AI can really shine. Imagine being able to analyze like mountains of data from customer reviews, social media, competitor info. AI could do that in like a fraction of the time it'd take us.
So instead of spending weeks on market research, you're talking about getting a clear picture of your customer, maybe in hours.
Yeah, and it's not just speed. AI can often find those hidden patterns, things we might miss, and that can lead to better product decisions.
That's huge. Okay, so let's say we've got a good grasp of the market, our users. What's next? The design phase.
Right, and traditionally, this is where things can get really time-consuming, expensive. But with AI, it can become so much more like fluid. You could literally feed the AI your product brief, your research, and it can generate tons of different design concepts.
It's like having a brainstorming partner who's available 24/7.
Yeah. And some AI tools can even create like interactive prototypes. Your users can actually test out features and give you feedback super early on.
That's smart. Find those usability issues before you've sunk a ton of money into development.
Exactly.
So we've got our design. It's time to build the thing. How does AI fit into the development stage?
One word, code generation. Imagine describing a feature and the AI just like writes the code for you.
Whoa. Okay, so that speeds up development, but does it impact the quality of the code?
That's the cool part. It can actually make it better. AI can help with things like code optimization, bug detection, even documentation.
So it's like having an extra set of eyes, but these eyes are super powered.
Pretty much.
Okay, so we've designed a great product. It's built. Now we got to test it, right? Make sure it's actually working the way it's supposed to.
Absolutely. And this is another area where generative AI can be incredibly helpful. Think about testing. Instead of manually creating thousands of test cases, AI can generate them for you.
So you're testing on a much larger scale, finding those edge cases you might have missed.
Yes, and it can even simulate real-world user behavior, giving you even better insights into the user experience.
This is amazing. AI has helped us understand our market, design our product, build it, and test it. What's left? Launch.
Don't forget marketing. Even there, AI can help with creating materials, generating social media content, tailoring messages to different audiences.
It's like having an entire marketing team at your fingertips.
In a way, yeah.
So we've seen how AI can impact every single stage of the product lifecycle, but to really leverage this, we need to understand the tools behind it, right? So we've covered a lot of ground here. Generative AI is changing how products are made from start to finish. But what about the people actually building those products? What does this mean for product managers?
It's a good question. And you actually sent over an interview with a senior product manager at Amazon, someone who's deep in the generative AI world.
Oh, right, right. What did he have to say?
One thing he talked about was this emerging difference between like traditional AI product managers and those focused specifically on generative AI.
Makes sense. It feels like a whole different beast.
Right, like traditional AI PMs, they often need a really strong background in building AI models from the ground up, spending tons of time with data scientists training those models.
But with generative AI, you've got these models like GPT that already exist, right? So it's a different starting point.
Exactly. A generative AI product manager can use those pre-trained models, which really speeds things up.
So it's less about building AI and more about understanding how to use it.
Yeah, but it's still super demanding. You need to know how these models work, their strengths, their weaknesses, how to integrate them into a product seamlessly.
So for someone listening who's thinking, hey, maybe this is for me, what skills do they need? Do they need to be like a coding whiz?
Coding always helps, but it's not the only thing. A strong technical foundation is key for sure. You've got to be comfortable talking with engineers, data scientists, understanding the tech behind it all.
So you're saying be tech savvy, but not necessarily a tech genius. What else?
All the classic product management skills still matter. Understanding your customer, doing good market research, prioritizing features, that kind of thing.
So it's like a blend of the old and the new.
Totally.
Yeah.
And this Amazon PM, he really stressed the importance of always learning. This field changes so fast, you know? You got to stay on top of the latest research, the new tools.
Not a job for someone who gets comfortable then.
Not at all.
Mm.
And he also talked about communication, being able to explain complex tech to people who aren't technical.
Right. That's so important. That bridge between the tech and everyone else sounds like a wild ride, being a generative AI product manager.
It is, but it's also incredibly rewarding. You get to shape the future, you know? How products are made, how people experience them.
I love that. So for our listeners out there who've been with us on this deep dive, what's the one thing you want them to walk away with?
That generative AI isn't some far-off thing. It's here now,
Yeah.
and it's changing how we work. Even if you don't consider yourself a tech person, don't be afraid to play around with the tools that are out there. Like ChatGPT, see what it can do for you.
I love that. Embrace the tech, experiment a bit. You might surprise yourself.
Exactly. And hey, you might even find your next passion.
Well said. Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive into generative AI and product management. It's been awesome having you.
My pleasure.
And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.